So, what does HTML look like? Do we have anything in here that looks like HTML? Yep, I think we do. We do actually. We don't know it yet, but there is a lot of things here that could be HTML-y. First off, look at the font. Yeah, the font. Not that we have to use this kind of font when we're typing HTML, but usually we use a certain kind of font called monotype. And these monotypes could be Courier New, it could be like the Niscan for Fira code. There's a lot of different ones, and these are used for us to be easy to read in code because the letters are equally wide, or should be equal wide if it's a good font for this. And that makes it easy for us to read code. And another part, many people code with dark backgrounds. And why do we do that? Because if we stare in the screen all day long and there's a lot of white and a little black, our eyes is going to be soaring when we get home and we will get headaches. So what we need to do is actually a lot of times shift that over so we get a dark background and we get the text, because it's really not fun to get a soaring headache every day when we quit our job. So I think that part really good. We have something HTML in here, even though we don't have any HTML, because when we write code, programming or HTML, most of the time we use these kind of fonts and a dark background. Now, let us get a bit closer to what HTML looks like. Yeah, here we have start headline, Dalarna University, end headline. Start paragraph, to create open path, blah, 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 end paragraph. This is better, but is it right? We're using the same fonts, we use the background. Now, it doesn't really matter for the code, but it's really, really good practice to use these. Now, what we added here are something inside, you call it in Swedish krokodilmun. But it's this one, a larger than a smaller n sign, Oh, god damn it, I skipped ahead there. You see, a larger and a smaller n sign. And when we see that, it's usually when we're looking at HTML, actually. And it says something here. It says start headline and it end headlines. That is also something we do in HTML a lot. We have, like I said earlier, we want to say where some kind of content starts and ends. So we could say that everything starts up here at the very top here to the left, but it could also say and then ends all the way here at the end paragraph and just have one. But then we would say the same thing about everything in between. Now what we do is actually we're dividing them up and saying we have a start headline over here. So we can say that this is a headline and say that this is a paragraph. Because this is a headline and this is a paragraph. So we need to say that. Otherwise, the user in the browser won't may be able to make the difference, to see the difference here. Either visually, of course, but mostly semantically. This is where we talk about semantics. We need to say something about our content. And you already do that a lot when you're using Word, right? You're creating headlines. Not like on the papers, but you're creating headlines in Word. So this kind of looks like HTML because there's a start and there's an end, and we tell something about the content in between. And we say what kind of content that is. It's a headline, it's a paragraph, but it's not HTML, is it? There's still something lacking here. Oh, this is much better. For some reason, the nerd did the last one, put start headline, and then, end headline. Like we needed that. Couldn't we just make it shorter? Yeah, we can. We can say headline, and then is which then, you know, it's implicitly saying it's a start, because what we do not put into this one is this forward slash. So whenever you have the forward slash, it means end headline. And if we do not have it, it means start. You see? It's like binary thing. So either you have it and then you're end, or you don't have it and then you're a start. That's really neat. So now we're saying headline. This is a headline still. We're still talking about the content in between. We're just typing these for the hell of it. We're really talking about the content. So let's discuss this Scholem bit. No, it's not. Well, let's take the next step. We could make it shorter. We did. And now it's actually, we're in the world of saying what was and what is. Because in the early days, we have the HTML and we have, the early CSS, and we have images and all of that on the web, but we also had the 56K. If you're old enough, like me, we had to basically call the server with, occupying the phone. You couldn't lift the phone because then you broke the connection to the server. So we really couldn't download stuff quickly from the web. Everything was very slow. So every character counted. So at that time, when we wrote code, we created elements. These are called elements. In fact, this is this first one is called element. And this is the start tag. And then there's the end tag of that whole element. So when we created these elements, we did so with the shortest abbreviation we could think of. In this case, it says H2. It means heading 2. Instead of heading 1, which would be the core heading, we have H2. Like in a word, we have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and a 6. Yeah, here actually it's same. We have a head H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, and then we don't have an H7. But when would we use it? I don't know. And I think I've never even used H6. Just in practice, though, just to try it out, but not to really needing it in any sort of occasion. So, and another P, it stands for paragraph. Then the web kept on going and being part of our life, and servers and internet connections and everything got quicker, stronger. So we didn't really have to care about the amount of characters we used anymore. So later on, in the creation of HTML, we're starting to see things, the elements that are created are called section or article, and they don't have an element saying S or A or something like that at that point. These things are actually given their full name. So had these elements been invented or created today, you could be unsure it would be heading 2 or heading 1 or paragraph. But they were invented back then when we needed to have short, abbreviated elements. So this is what HTML does look like. Now, this is correct.